What happens when your grand adventure turns into a nightmare?
I start shouting for help and blood coming out from my mouth.
With actual footage from their ordeal, 4 Singaporeans relive their troubles abroad.
We instantly froze. I knew that my life was in danger.
I tell to my maker, just get it done with. Just let me go.
How can they survive when an exciting trip goes horribly wrong?
We're going home, going Singapore.
In this episode, a short jaunt up a mountain in Johor Bahru takes a frightening turn.
We were on a very steep slope. My fear was that I would roll down the forest.
A young hiker is trapped in unfamiliar terrain.
They had no idea whether I was alive or not. I'm a spontaneous person, so whenever my friends ask me to go out for activities, rock climbing or skydiving, I'll be very game for it. When I go overseas, I would definitely trek. I did it in Hong Kong along Dragon's Back and Taiwan in Yangmingshan. Dominic is a relatively new friend, and he suggested going to hike at Gunung Pulai, which I thought was something new and something that I didn't try before, and I said, okay, let's go for it. On the day of 5th February, Dominic picked me up at about 8 a.m. and we went for breakfast. We were eating bihun, so it was good that we had a full breakfast. It was raining along the way to Gunung Pulai. Gunung Pulai is in Malaysia, JB. I didn't think much of how difficult the hike would be because I thought it was going to be like a simple hike up the mountain. Dominic had climbed this route 3 to 4 times before. He was pretty experienced compared to myself. So I followed him along. We thought that it would be a 4 to 5 hour recreational hike. So we didn't think much about bringing supplies or tents. When we first started the trek, the terrain looked like a dirt path. It was pretty steep. So after 2 to 3 hours of trekking, I was feeling very happy. There was an adrenaline to reaching this first viewpoint. So I couldn't wait to reach the summit at Gunung Pulai. At around 2 to 3 p.m, we started the second hike to the summit. The forest looked very dense with a lot of vegetation. Dominic had to use his hand to push the leaves apart so that we could keep on going through the forest. And that was when he cut his hand. And his hand was bleeding, and I was worried that it would get infected. So he decided to take what we thought was the right shortcut, demarcated by red markers down. But I don't think it was the right shortcut. It got denser and denser, and it was very hard to bash through the forest, and it got steep as well. About 4 plus 5, we knew that we were lost. That was when he decided to call the bomba.
Bila kita menerima call daripada 999, saya berada di rumah dan sedang berjoging sebenarnya. Saya pun tertanya bagaimana ada 2 orang warga Singapura boleh tersesat. Perkara pertama yang kita cakap, kita minta mangsa supaya dia bertenang. Kita juga ada mengarahkan atau menyarankan mangsa supaya tidak bergerak kerana dia memudahkan kita mencari. Last kita dapat berbual dengan beliau pukul 10 malam, saya ingat last.
As nighttime fell, it was cold. We were wearing our basic sports top and Dominic was wearing shorts.
Kita fokuskan kepada dua tempat. Hasil daripada maklumat yang kita terima daripada mangsa itu sendiri, dia telah memberikan koordinat yang merujuk kepada Bukit 308. Dia berada dekat dengan batu besar, lebih kurang 10 meter dengan sungai. Lepas tu ada red tape. Red tape ni kawasan yang sangat berbahaya dan pendaki tidak dibenarkan melalui ataupun memasuki kawasan itu.
Dominic was the only one with a Malaysian SIM card. There was an app on his phone that could locate the coordinates, but his phone was dying. We were on a very steep slope. There was a large tree in front of us. My fear was that I would roll down the forest, so I got very worried and I couldn't sleep through the whole night.
Setelah 4 jam membuat operasi mencari dan menyelamat di Bukit 308, kita mengambil keputusan untuk mendaki ke puncak bukit, yang mana di puncak bukit tersebut pun ada landmark yang maklumat yang seperti mana yang telah diberikan. Gunung Pulai ni boleh jadi bahaya. Contohnya seperti binatang berbisa, serangan daripada khinzir liar. Tempat yang ekstrim yang mana batu-batunya licin. Memang kita pernah menghadiri kes yang mana mangsa meninggal di sana.
What I saw was the shadow of the wild boar which were around us. You could hear a grunt, but it's not like a normal pig grunt. It was a grunt from like a wild animal. There were about probably 4 or 5 boars around us. We instantly froze because we knew that they would attack on if they are being provoked. I knew that my life was in danger.
Kita berusaha untuk menyelamatkan mangsa. Kita rasa macam adik-beradik kita pula yang macam yang berada dalam keadaan kesusahan.
Clarice is a very good friend of mine. The weekend before she was lost, we were out for lunch. She didn't really mention anything about going overseas or going abroad or hiking. On Monday, I was texting her. Usually she would reply within 1 hour. When I didn't get the reply, I tried calling her and her phone was off, which I find is quite weird because her phone is usually not off. So then the next morning, the call started to come in. She was supposed to report to her job, but she wasn't. Yeah, so everyone got quite worried. She told her mum that she was going overseas to JB, but she's not home, and she was supposed to. I've never felt such fear before because I really didn't know where she was. Most of the close friends do not really know who was she with or where was she, so we had to use the help of social media. When the first deed came about, I was quite amazed like how the outreach could be this huge. She was from Malaysia and she was just working in Singapore, and she forwarded us this newspaper article which was reported in Malaysia about 2 missing Singaporeans. She said that Clarice was lost in the mountain, her husband was in a rescue team.
当这次事情发生，我很生气。他完全没有跟我讲，他跟一个男生去爬山。
sehingga pukul 4 pagi. Kita punya pasukan letih, kita decide untuk kita menukar pasukan sebab kita nak penyelamat yang masih bertenaga dan masih cergas untuk meneruskan operasi. Pasukan yang baru tu saya tugaskan untuk kembali ke Bukit 308. Saya tak tidur lah, tak fikir penat pun malam tu. Memang tugas hakiki kita.
On the morning of the second day, we decided to ration the food because we were left with very little. We still had our Pringles, we had cashew nuts. It was either getting water for survival or staying put in the same location for the bomber to find us. Our first instinct was to find water because it was important to keep us alive. We didn't know where to go, we just followed the path downward. What felt like 2 to 3 hours later, we were extremely relieved when we saw the stream. So after resting for about maybe half an hour and collecting our water, we decided to follow the stream downward. I thought it was a good idea for us to keep moving so that the wild animals wouldn't follow us, but I was worried that they couldn't find us because we left from the coordinates.
Walaupun kita mengarahkan mangsa supaya tidak bergerak, tapi saya rasa mangsa mungkin bergerak, kita kena bergerak cepat. So saya decide untuk ubah strategi. Dengan manpower 60 orang, saya bagikan kepada 4 zon.
We were walking on the sandy areas near the stream. That was the first time when a leech bit on my leg. I was terrified. My first instinct was to pull it off, but Dominic told me that I can't pull the leech off because the blood will just gush. So he helped me to burn off the leech by using his lighter.
We already knew that they were lost in that mountain. That's why I updated all the posts to say that what we need is volunteers with experience in hiking so that they can go down to the actual site to help the authorities team.
Kalau tengok jangka waktu operasi tu, secara normalnya memang saya penat lah kan. Tetapi disebabkan oleh matlamat dan tugas saya, ialah manusia biasa kan, dia ada satu tenaga dalaman yang membantu kita untuk mencapai apa yang kita nak. Pukul 5 petang daripada base camp, saya mengambil keputusan untuk saya sendiri naik. Saya cuba mengenal pasti mengapa kita masih gagal untuk menjumpai mangsa. Walaupun kita menggunakan teknik yang betul, tetapi kalau mangsa tiada di situ dan memang tak jumpa lah.
我每天都在山下等他的消息，可是这100、200的爬山者下来都没有他的消息，都找不到他。那时候我的眼泪一直不停地掉下来。
I was really very helpless then, thinking that they had no idea whether I was alive or not.
Pada hari ketiga, kita luaskan lagi kawasan pencarian. Saya perlu lebih giatkan lagi operasi mencari benda-benda saya.
I was feeling famished. We didn't have anything to eat for the last 24 hours, and that was when I teared and told Dominic that I couldn't walk anymore. On the third day, I think it was fear that caused us to hallucinate. We were shouting "tolong, tolong," which means help. And we heard something. We heard, "Hello, are you there?" from across the river. Yes, and we said we are along the river. And the sound responded. It said, "Okay."
Teknik friend ni memang kita jarang gunakan sebab kebiasaannya kita yang mencari mangsa, bukan mangsa datang kepada kita. Walaupun kanopi dia tebal, tapi kita cari ruang-ruang yang mana yang fly tu boleh lepas. Normally kita akan ambil 3 jam je. Tapi bila mengambil masa sampai hati tu, kita rasakan tak apalah, kita berusaha. Pada kedai keempat, saya pun dah tak banyak pilihan. Sebelum cumanya yang 10% tadi, kawasan yang kita belum cari. Kawasan tu terlalu ekstrim dan kita tidak menjangkakan mangsa melalui jalan tersebut. Memang kawasan tu ada buaya. Juga ada ikan toman yang mana dia boleh menyerang manusia.
Dominic was feeling very apologetic towards me for putting us in the predicament that we are in, but I told him that it was okay, we'll get out of here alive. I still have so many things that I have yet to achieve. I have yet to travel around the world, I've yet to settle down, I've yet to buy a house for my parents. I really can't die without accomplishing these things. We trudged on, and we came across the river many times. So to us, that was a sign. We tried to lift some logs to make a raft, but it was impossible because it was extremely heavy. We were like, heck, let's just swim to what we thought was the original point. So we were swimming, and it felt like close to an hour before we heard something. It was the sound of a chopper. It circled us a few times, and we were shouting and trying to make waves in the water and screaming for help. Afterwards, strangely, the helicopter left. I was in a panic mode because I thought that they didn't see us, and I had just a mix of emotions of sadness, frustration, everything inside me.
Yang pertama kalinya saya ada ternampak juga kelibat manusia dekat dalam kawasan pertandaan air tersebut. Saya pun terfikir mungkin ada orang mancing kat situ. Tapi bila saya fikir balik, sebab kawasan tu memang kawasan larangan mancing. So bila patah balik tu yang kali kedua tu betul. Memang kita kena pasti yang tu mangsa.
I had tears of joy. So I was crying, I was like saying to Dom, I'm going to get out of here alive.
Pada saat tu memang saya ingatlah, memang saya orang paling gembira lah waktu tu. Saya terperanjat sebab kita tak menjangkakan kesungguhan mereka untuk hidup tu terlalu tinggi sampai telah pergi ke tempat ekstrim bila dengan keadaan injured dan sebagainya kan. Wow. Memang betul-betul lah mereka ni kan betul-betul struggle untuk hidup.
马来西亚的 Bombay 打给我的时候，说我找到女儿的时候，我的眼泪都掉下来了，因为这是我的女儿终于平安的回归给我了。
They took Dominic and myself in an ambulance to Pontian Hospital. Afterwards, we headed back to Singapore and checked into Tan Tock Seng Hospital. And that was when I was given a blood test, IV drip, and again to clean my wounds.
I spoke to her on that night itself. The first thing that we shouted was, she was like, "Babe, I'm alive!" And I'm like, "Yeah, you're alive!"
There were about 200 volunteers and rescuers throughout the 4 days of the search. So I would say that they gave me a second chance of life, because without them, I would still be stuck in the forest, or I would have died. I'm feeling quite nostalgic because it was at about this time that I went through the JB Customs on that fateful day of 5th February.
因为我要来这边感激那些蒙巴的人，现在回到现场，多少都有一点回忆啦，以前的现不见的心态。
Hi Clarice.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Nice
Thank you
to
so
meet
much.
you again.
Yeah, this is for you.
Thank you, thank you. Let me introduce. You know, these people,
Yes.
my colleague,
Yes.
all involved in that search and rescue mission.
I was surprised by the whole team being present at the station. Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you.
So this Afam.
Hi, thank you so much. As I shook each and every one of their hands, I felt this tingling sensation of like emotions, like I was about to cry, because it reminded me of their efforts in going down to the forest to look for me. And this is for you. So why I bought KFC is because I was craving for it in the forest.
Oh,
So I thought it was
so
quite
maybe we can
significant
eat together.
to share this with the team.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Cimas, can you play? So I'm planning to show you on maps your location.
Okay.
Sure, sure. Can we? Yeah. So the location that Dominic give here. So one team we send from here direct to here. So I can
They did a very thorough search of the entire forest, day and night, even though they were not allowed to go into the forest after 7 p.m. to search for me. From what I understand, the chief still did. So I was very touched by this action. I'm glad that I was given a second chance of life. I will take my time to heal first. Once I'm ready, I'm sure this time I will reach the summit.